Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. For today's video, this will take us to around the 18th of February. So, the stratospheric warming is still on course. We won't look at it for today's video because we've been looking at it for several days. And I think just sort of repeating ourselves a little bit at the moment. So, I'm going to leave it off today. We'll have another look tomorrow. But it's all still on course. So, warming of the stratosphere going to take place over the next few days. And it still looks like going to get a reversal of zonal winds. Talked about that in videos a lot just lately. And so that's all still on course. And I say we'll have a look at it tomorrow, but I thought I'd leave it out for today's video. So it's just going to be a simple look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. A little bit of snow risk coming up over the next few days. So we'll have a look at the GFS and the ECMWF about that at the end of the video as well. But we're going to start off having a look at the central England temperature from Hadley. So we've got under 3 degrees now. This is provisional up to yesterday, 7th of February, and we're currently standing at 2.8 degrees, an anomaly of over 1.5 degrees below average. So it's been a proper cold first week to February, to say the least. An anomaly over 1.5 degrees below the 61 to 1990 average, the old and cold temperature average, is quite unusual in this day and age. So a proper sort of cold start to February. I'd expect that to lift up a little bit over the next few days. Not going to be quite as cold as it has been in recent days, but still probably quite solidly below average. These are the Penn State University 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next 7 to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF here on the top and the GFS on the bottom. 500 millibars, 8,000 feet is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure and low pressure being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red is extrapolating to high pressure and blue to low pressure. So you can see what's going on in the 7 to 10 day time frame with the ECMWF. We've got these areas of above average heights sitting to our north. Quite a big blocking feature is up there, and then we've got below average heights over the UK and going to the south, and so the jet stream will be going something rather like that. And we're placed on the cold side of the jet stream, and via this blocking, we could well be entrenching some quite cold air into this trough from sort of the north. So a pretty cold looking signal there for this 7 to 10 day time frame from the ECMWF. But GFS is very similar, although the blocking is in a slightly different position. So very deep area below average heights around the south of Greenland. Also some energy going to our south, and then we've got a high pressure in over Scandinavia, so it's more centred to our northeast. So the flow and the jet stream, we're doing something like that. I think there's a bit of a split taking place in the jet stream, with some of the energy going up here, some down here, and it leaves us at risk of bringing in the wind from an easterly direction. They're both pretty cold, I think, in the 7 to 10 day time frame. They just differ a bit on how they are getting to that cold weather. Temperature anomalies in terms of the upper air temperatures looking like this. We're looking at Exeter today, the ensemble for Exeter. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average, up and down with the temperatures in the next few days. So we're going to have a mix of weather coming up in the next few days. It will be quite cold at times, as you can see by these dips in the upper air temperature. But at times we will bring warmer sectors through as well. Going into next week, it looks like it's just generally a little bit colder than average, really. Also very unsettled, though. Notice these big precipitation spikes just here through the early middle part of next week. Quite a lot of wet weather coming in then, and with temperatures still a bit colder than average, some of that could be a bit wintry. And then late on in the ensemble, this period just here going up towards the final week of February, we do see a bit of a cold, a bit of a cooling trend, actually. The white line, which is the ensemble mean, that's moving downwards, telling us that in the extended range, many of these ensembles are going really very cold for that final sort of week to 10 days of February. That's a very long way off, so I wouldn't necessarily take it all that seriously. But certainly that is what the model is indicating in terms of the ensembles at the moment. Temperature anomaly is looking like that, a little bit colder than average for the week ahead for the UK and Ireland. Most parts of Central Western Europe are coming out colder than average as well. Precipitation anomaly is coming out a bit wetter than average, so above average precipitation, below average temperatures. There is going to be a risk of a little bit of wintry potential coming up in the days ahead, but not only that, lots of heavy rain next week at times as well, and then possibly trending something colder and drier through that final week to 10 days of February. Temperature anomalies for America, I should say, looking like that. Colder than average for northern parts of the states, the south and southeast of the states actually coming out just a little bit milder than average, as it is for many western parts of America as well. So the cold temperature anomalies are up in the north of the states. Precipitation anomalies look like that. Western states drier than average. Elsewhere, a bit of a mix. Some states are a bit wetter than average. Some states are a bit drier than average. That's how the midnight run of the GFS was looking for Monday then. Quite a cold and showery Monday coming through. Tuesday also looking quite cold and showery, but keep an eye on this area of low pressure out here running in along the jet stream. There's quite a cold air to the north of that low pressure. And so from Tuesday to Wednesday, as that low pressure runs in, it's bringing a mix of rain and possibly snow to parts of the country through the middle part of next week. Then into the end of next week, the low pressure starts to diminish and the high pressure begins to take over up over Scandinavia. We saw it on the height anomaly flow chart. So by the time we get through to day 10, which is Sunday the 18th of February, the high pressure is probably dominating over Scandinavia and it's turning the winds into the east. And then we go off and running into a proper cold easterly wind as we go into the final sort of 10 days of February. The Scandinavian high is dominating, the winds are in from the east, and bitterly cold air being dragged in along those easterly winds as well by Tuesday the 20th of February. ECMWF looks like, I should say, the 6 o'clock run of the GFS looks like that. This is the latest run, so that was a midnight run. This is the 6 o'clock run. Again, cold and showery for Monday, and then bringing low pressure in off the Atlantic Tuesday to Wednesday. A bit further north with this low pressure, so this is more in way of rain rather than snow. Also very strong winds wrapped around this area of low pressure. You'll notice really tightly packed ice bars in case of risk of gales, as well as heavy rain and hill snow through the middle of next week. That low pressure moves through towards the end of next week. This is Friday the 16th, and heights are starting to rise again up to our northeast, and then we go up to day 10, and that's how we look at day 10. High pressure is dominating over Scandinavia, and the winds are coming in from a northerly direction. Doesn't last long though. We're quite quick going back into southwesterly winds by Monday the 19th. So differences there in the strength of the Scandinavian high, but certainly up to day 10, they both agree on the heights building to the northeast and trying to get wind into the east. As I say, the midnight run, which you just saw of the GFS, that does pull off those easy winds. The 6 o'clock run of the GFS doesn't quite get there. And then finally, the ECMWF, this is the ECM, so we've got the winds in from the west, so cool and showery to start next week. Then this little trough comes through Tuesday, that possibly brings something a bit wintry, and then another low pressure moving in off the Atlantic through the middle of next week, bringing lots of heavy rain. The winds generally staying from the west, so not too cold, but we've got fairly cold air rotating around this area of low pressure. Although it's a westerly Atlantic flow, which isn't as cold as an easterly, it is still a pretty chilly wind to say the least. We head up towards day 10, that takes us to day 10, and things are becoming gradually more and more blocked in the Atlantic and going to our north as well, with the low pressure over and to the east, and that's bringing the wind in from a northerly direction by the time we get through to day 10, certainly the 18th of February. So turning colder and more wintry there as we head in towards the final, going up towards the final 10 days of February, with signs of blocking beginning to develop. As I say, a little bit of wintry potential coming over the next few days. So that's what we'll finish off with. This is the GFS model from weatheroutlook.com. Here's today's wet weather through particularly Wales and northern England this afternoon. That rain pushes southwards and eastwards tonight, bringing quite a wet night to much of England Wales, and then wintry showers are following along behind. So by tomorrow morning, actually quite a lot of wintry showers across many parts of the country. They continue through the morning before tending to die away through the course of the afternoon, dying back towards the coast. Then rain with a bit of hill snow moving southwards on Saturday, brings quite a wet day and slightly less cold as well for Saturday. Sunday we're back into wintry showers again. Do keep in mind, when you see these big masses of snow, it looks like it's a very snowy situation, but these are mainly wintry showers, and the model does have a definition to be able to differentiate between sort of showers and more persistent areas of precipitation. So it's not going to be as snowy as that looks on Sunday. Monday is something of a quiet day, still some wintry showers in the north and the west. Then we go through into Tuesday, where we bring quite a bit of wet weather, and Wednesday in from off the Atlantic. There could be some wintry potential there on Tuesday. So that's how things looking on Tuesday morning. Rain generally from the south, but maybe something a bit more wintry up in the north. The ECMWF looks like this. So this is starting off tomorrow, sort of tomorrow, and we have the wintry weather mainly up in the north through the course of tomorrow. This is the stretch of those wintry showers getting quite widespread through tomorrow morning. So yeah, I doubt there'll be that much in the way of a covering of snow across the country, but some wintry potential certainly tomorrow morning. Then the showers generally sort of die away as we go through into Saturday, and actually we bring quite a lot of wet weather down from off the Atlantic. So you'll notice the blue areas of snow cover is gradually diminishing as the rain moves southwards and eastwards. That takes us into Sunday, where we've got wintry showers generally in the north and in the west in particular. Some quite deep snow cover is suggested there for Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, Wales. But do keep in mind the model is anticipated that every snowflake that falls settles won't be as much snow as that suggests. But certainly from Sunday to Monday, there is some more wintry potential. And then we go through into Tuesday, and what we see on Tuesday is that we're increasing the snow cover even down in the south. It's suggesting that Tuesday to Wednesday brings the risk of a little bit of snow for parts of England and Wales. Again, remember, it does overdo the snow depth a little bit, these charts from the ECMWF. And then we go through into Wednesday and Thursday, and the snow diminishes as we see all of that wet weather piling in from off the Atlantic. So for snow, the times we're going to look at tomorrow morning, when there could be widespread wintry showers. And then again on Sunday, could have wintry showers. And then maybe something more persistent in the way of rain, sleet or snow around sort of Monday night, Tuesday. Then after that, probably going into 2 or 3 days of quite wet weather through the middle part of next week. And then all eyes will be on whether this blocking starts to set up for the final week to 10 days of February. If it does, it could turn very cold. Right, that's brought you up to date with everything. As I say, tomorrow we will have a renewed look at what's happening in the stratosphere, but I thought we covered it so much recently that we'd have a day off from it. There's not really been any changes overnight. So, more on the stratosphere tomorrow, and of course we'll have JMA Friday as well for you tomorrow, so come back for all of the updates tomorrow. That's all now, and thanks for watching.